YouTube, welcome back, baby. I got my little homie Bryce on this tutorial today. We're just gonna be doing a simple mid-fade comb over, but I'm gonna explain how I execute on kids cuts. I don't usually do kids cuts. I actually think this is probably one of my only kid that I do cut for reasons I will explain later on. Now, I have been cutting Bryce up for about maybe like 3 or so years. Me and my homie actually have like regular ass conversations while he's in the chair. It's actually pretty funny. We talk about Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We really connect. So you're gonna see him talking throughout the video, looking at me all crazy. He's very animated, very adorable. But don't let that distract you from this content. So first and foremost, I'm just gonna wet down the hair because I'm gonna take down the hair probably about 1 inch. He doesn't like the hair going into his eyes that much. Now, for most of you that have been watching my channel, you guys know I've been trying to get better with my shear work and how I set things up, trying to get a little more traditional cuts in there and helping out my clients with longer hair, as I have longer hair myself. Thing that I've been working on is just kind of setting up that cowlick a little bit better, so I make sure I separate and part that cowlick to have the hairs going in the correct direction so I can cut them down and they lay down correctly as well. And then I'm just gonna go throughout the whole head, working from back to front, taking about 1 inch off, going down the middle first, and then working off that middle section on both sides, left side and right side of the head, and kind of matching them up that way. So I always do get asked, hey Deluxe, do you cut kids? Hey Deluxe, I want to bring my 3-year-old kid in for him to get a fresh fade. Do you think you can do that? I usually turn down most of those clients. I know I said in the beginning, I don't cut kids hair at all. This is probably like one of my only kids cuts clients, only because he was doing me for so long. I know when he's gonna get a little bit bored, he sits very still. Usually kids don't sit still. You gotta like kind of hold their head up a lot. He does fall asleep, I think, throughout this video. They move around too much, they fuss and whine. It's just too much of a headache. And then on top of that, a lot of barbers only charge probably about like maybe even half the cost, maybe $10 off a regular haircut for a kid's cut when it is more work. That just never made sense to me. I charge still full price for a kid's cut. There is no such thing as a kid's cut. It's all haircuts to me. If anything, I think a kid's cut that is a little bit more tedious, with a kid moving around and making it more difficult on you, should be a little bit more, but I don't have that market because I don't cut kids. So right here, I'm just gonna start off with my first bald guideline. I don't go all the way bald to the shavers on my man Bryce. He doesn't like the feeling of the shavers on his head. He says it kind of tugs his hair, creates a little bit of irritation. Sometimes you will get clients like that just don't want that foil shaver on the back of their head, whether it be from ingrowns, whether they get irritation, or maybe they just don't like the feel of it. And that's completely alright. Don't try to pressure them. I just simply take it down with my clippers first. These are my Oster Speedlines. They just cut through the hair a lot more easily than the Andis Fade Masters. The Fade Masters would probably like get stuck in the skin sometimes. These just kind of flow right over the skin nice and easily. And then I think I will take it down. I think I got it in here. That I will take it down with my trimmers as well, my liners, just to make it get the stubble hair as short as possible. So some angles in this video won't be as perfect as they can be, just because he was a little bit stubborn with his head. I was kind of like yanking his head around like, hey bro, we gotta do it for the YouTube. Remember, you want to become a YouTube star? He's like, yeah, but the movie. I'm like, come on bro. But right here, I'm just taking it with my speed lines open, going about 3/4 of an inch up, and create my next guideline. And then I'm just simply taking out that guideline, going close halfway open on those speed lines. Now, I have heard barbers usually say, oh, I'll cut kids for like half the price or something like that, or give them a discount because they are kids, because they'll grow into future clients. For me, I never wanted to be like cutting hair that long to where a 5-year-old kid is gonna be 25 years old and still be my client, to where he's making good money and tip me out because I hooked him up later on, or earlier on in life, and paying it for me later on in life. I never had that vision. I was always like, bro, if you still want to be cutting hair and behind a chair by then, that's you. That's not me. So for me personally, I don't like that mindset. If you do want to cut hair for the rest of your life, by all means, take kids, be that great barber. I'm trying to make some money, so y'all can stay behind the chair, but I'm trying to make some money. And all I'm doing right here is just taking out, like moving that lever back and forth, taking out any darker lines that I do see. Now I'm gonna go with my zero guard on my Andis Fade Masters, open it all the way up, make my next guideline. Now, please, whoever is watching this video, don't think that just because I'm doing his kid's haircut that I want all the kids in Sacramento and all the kids in California to slide through and start getting cut up by me. This is not what that video is for. I'm not trying to reach out to that clientele. This is simply just to give you guys a little more advice on how to cut kids' hair. So I have recently noticed that there are a lot more people than just barbers that watch these videos, because I have got clientele coming in from these YouTube videos. So please don't be bringing in your 8-year-old kids, because I'm probably not going to cut them. Now I'm still working through the closed halfway open on the zero guard while I eat my orange in the morning. It is the morning right now, so I gotta eat breakfast before I go to work. And also a good thing, with some kids, their head moves around a lot. What I usually do is you have your left hand free with the comb and everything. Literally just place that left hand on the top of their head. Kind of give it a little bit of a firm grip if they're not listening or something like that. I remember when I used to cut kids back at a couple years ago. Any badass kids that would be pissing me off, I get irritated pretty easily. So any kids that be pissing me off and getting irritated I literally put my hand on top of their head, grab it a little bit firmly and push it down a little bit, not to hurt them, but just to send them a message like, yo, I ain't playing around with you, boy. Go ahead and move around all you want. You can cry to mom, you ain't crying to me. So that's probably not the best thing to do, honestly. You probably, I wouldn't go around telling you to hey, keep your kids in check. But if the parents aren't doing their job, which they should be doing, I'm gonna make sure I at least control the kid's head to where I'm not gonna cut him, because if he's moving around a lot and I have a sharp object in my hand as a clipper or scissors too, which a lot of kids do like getting longer cuts, it is dangerous for him and for yourself, the barber, because if the kid turns around, bumps into your hand goes ahead and slices your thumb off or pokes your eye out or some shit like that, you're not gonna be too happy about that. Same thing if the kid makes a wrong turn and you're using a no guard and you make a big old scoop in the side of their head. Parents ain't gonna be happy about that, and you're not gonna be happy about that either, because they're probably not gonna pay you. Now I'm just gonna be going throughout the rest of the haircut with the Speedlines, kind of just picking at it, using that corner technique of the clipper to get any darker spots out. Now, usually after I do this with the zero guard, I will go clipper over comb to take down that bulk and start creating a better shape that you can kind of see as I go with the 2 guard there. You kind of see it went from this really bulky, heavy line to a little bit more smoothed out shape on the top of the head. I wasn't able to get a good angle of the clipper over comb. Like I said, I was having to hold his head. I think he was falling asleep a little bit, paying attention to the movie a little too much. There was really just no good footage of that, and I was kind of pissed off about that, but it is what it is. But I do clipper over comb before I go over with that 2 guard, and then working my way down to the 1 guard now, so I don't push up that fade any higher. So I go 2 guard open to close, and then in that same little area that I just took it down with the 2 guard, I'm gonna go 1 guard open, halfway closed. Now, as I move on throughout this haircut, just still taking out lines with that 1 guard, I think I'm going to move on to the 3 guard just to get that top bulk out of there. You still have to cut kids up that do come to you up well. You don't want to just rush their haircut because they're a kid. It doesn't matter. They don't really give a shit about their hair. Still give them a good haircut. That is still a client that is hopping in your chair and paying for your services, even though they're not paying for it. They might have an allowance or something, take out the trash, they might pay you for it, but they are still a client in your chair that you need to take care of. Now, there are exceptions. Now, if the kid is moving around too much, making your job too difficult, prolonging the haircut, I personally have stopped the haircut halfway through and looked at the mom like, look, you ain't gonna take care of your kids, I don't want to take care of your kids. Haircut's done. Like, it's just, I'm just good off it, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't say to do that all the time, and I wouldn't say to do that on any kid that gives you any little bit of a problem. That was more of like an extreme case where the kid was literally getting up out of the damn chair, running around, and the mom wasn't really even doing anything. Mom was kind of just babying him a little bit. And I just didn't have time for it. I had clientele that was coming in about the next 10, 15 minutes. Because the cut took so long, I just looked at the mom and said, look, cut's done. I don't want to do this no more. I got other clientele. And, you know, at the end of the day, you are the boss. You are in charge of that. So, you know, if a kid is giving you too much of problems, I know I sound really anti-kid. Look, I ain't even planning on having kids for another 10, 15 years. Well, I shouldn't even say plan. I shouldn't even say think about having kids for another 10, 15 years. I got little nephews. Those guys, love them, love kids. Look, just don't make my job hard and we gonna be all good. That's why Bryce is my man. He doesn't make my job hard. He does complain a little bit when I put the hot sauce, when I put the little spritzer on his head after I finish his lineup. But other than that, he doesn't give me no problems. And when you're creating a clientele base, you know, when you get busy and everything, I think it at a point it comes to like, hey, don't try to just get every damn person in your chair. You're gonna attract certain clientele to you, and you do have the right to fire clients as well. I have fired clients just because, honestly, because like they're a poor tipper, or they ask for too much and they don't compensate me for that, and I don't feel bad at all because I'm taking extra time. It would go over the haircut time, and they want me to do extra stuff without, you know, like there's tedious stuff. And I was like, look, man, like if you're not gonna tip me well every time. I mean, the dude didn't even tip me $1. He would just give me flat price. But this is when I was charging 20, not when I was charging 40. So keep that in mind as well. But I have fired clients before. Now going through that part, I do start the part off with my Oster Speedlines to kind of get a nice hard line in there at first, and then go in there with your trimmer, sharpen that thing up, widen it out just a little bit. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take my blow dryer, kind of style his hair up. Like I said, I'm trying to get better with my styling. Then I'm gonna go ahead, and I thought I was gonna apply the enhanced hair fibers, but I did see some of his hair that was a little bit out of place. His hairline, after I did blow dry it, wasn't looking as crisp as possible. So I went ahead and sharpened that up. I did apply fibers, but that probably did not get in there because probably moving around, probably my body, my big old head was in the way. Something was going on. But of course, straight razor him up, finish him up that way to make sure that line is extra crisp. You can see that fade. Now, when you are styling up your clients and putting products in the hair, you always want to be, you always want to know how to style and how to apply product. Tell your clients, look, don't be globbing this shit on your head. I get a lot of clients that glob product onto their head. I show them how much I use and what I could do with it on their hair. Of course, I'm still getting better. My boy Ethan Everett did slide through this past weekend, show me a couple tips on styling and a couple different styles. So I will be coming out with more videos on that. But this is a kid's comb-over mid-fade cut. Little nice quick video, nice sharp line. My boy Bryce is looking all nice and fresh for all his girlfriends at school. He go kill it in his Pokemon games. He does catch them all. Yeah, it's my boy Bryce. Just styled, hair fibered up. This does have enhancements, like I said. Well, like I said before, does have the hair fibers. So appreciate y'all for watching. Be coming out with more content, and I will be starting up a newsletter very, very soon that you guys can subscribe to. I'll be featuring exclusive content on that YouTube doesn't even get to see. So I'm gonna really try and target y'all and figure out what exclusive content to be pushing to y'all. That will be coming. I'm expecting to drop that in the next video, so please be on the lookout for that. Appreciate y'all. All right, I'm out.